Hey Activz family, my name is Toth, and I'm so glad to be here today and to let you know that I have one desire for you, and that's for you to be successful, okay? But not the way I define it, the way you define it, right? But here's the cool part. I have a success formula, right? Works every time, no matter what your goals are. Want to know what it is? Sure. So, the proper action taken for a sufficient amount of time equals success, right? Very simple. Now, depending on what you're trying to accomplish in life, it actually may be hard to know exactly what that proper action is. So what do I mean by proper action? So let's say that you have a goal to walk from New York to LA, right? The proper action is, well, to walk in a generally Western direction, right? If you do that enough, you'll get there, right? Now, some may take longer than others, depending on how many steps they take every day, how long their legs are, how fast they walk, but everybody who's taken action consistently for enough time, they're going to make it to LA, right? Now, if you don't walk at all, or you're digging holes or something instead of walking, it's going to be a no-go, right? But we're talking about Activz here, right? And we know what that proper action is. And what is that? You just have to ask people if they're open to look at information, right? Hey, just curious, would you be open to looking at some information that could really benefit your health, right? If not, no big deal. Right? If all you did was ask that question to enough people, you would have success. Right? Now, the proper action, the ask, done enough times will bring success. So if you want a bit more on the ask, that was my topic last year. So go to the Activz YouTube channel and search for Ed and Karen Toth. All right? I promise you, anyone who is successful or not, right? All I need to do is look at those two numbers. How much action did they take and for how long? Okay, so what happens if either one of those numbers are zero or very small, right? Very little or no success. So let's break it down a little more. Time kind of just rolls along, right? Don't have much control over that. So nothing happens without action. That's the part you have control over. That's guaranteed, right? You don't need your why, you don't need your goals or belief or more of the education or blah, 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 right? Those things are good, but don't get me wrong, but they are there to enhance the action. Nothing can replace it, right? I can sign someone up right now, and 30 seconds after I get their distributor number, they can call 10 people with that question, right? They'll be further ahead than the person who spent a month studying the compensation plan and all the science and everything else and didn't ask anybody that question, right? That's how important action is, right? It really is that same simple, right? But it's not easy. Now, why not? Why aren't you taking action? I know you have the capacity to do it. Just look at the person next to you right now and say this. Hey, just curious, would you be open to looking at some information that could benefit your health, right? If nobody's next to you, it's going to look a little weird, right? So maybe pull out your phone and send that in a text to someone, right? Now, you are now officially Activz Level 1 certified, right? You have all the skills necessary to start bringing you success, all right? I'm not kidding. Okay, so again, why aren't you taking action, right? That's the question you need to answer. You're sitting in your Activz Ferrari, premium gas in the tank, engine is revving, and you're going down the street at 5 miles an hour, right? Or maybe not even moving at all, right? What is going on? You have the fuel and the keys and the skills to drive and all the belief in the world that you can drive 110 miles an hour, right? So what's going on? Well, even with all that, you've got your foot on the brake, right? So you won't go anywhere. So you've probably heard about writing down your why or your goals or having a vision, right? All that good stuff. Those are your why tos. Okay, that's the gas pedal. But did you ever think about your why not tos? Right, think about that. Here's all the reasons why. But if you're still not taking action or enough action, something's holding you back, right? Your foot is on the brake. You need to list your why not tos. It may be as silly as, you're missing your favorite show on TV, right? Or fear of rejection, right? Which is really just your ego. You're afraid of what people will think about you. I would say actually that's really one of the biggest fears. But it's really just you being selfish, right? If you really have something that could help someone, wouldn't you offer it to them? If someone needs their car jumped in the parking lot and you have a pair of jumper cables, do you just drive by? Right? Do you worry about how your cables look? Maybe they're old and dirty. Maybe you're not sure how to hook them up. Maybe you're not even sure that their battery's the problem, right? Should you stop and ask them anyway? Right? Hey, just curious. I got some jumper cables. Might help you out. Are you hurt if they say no? No, of course not. Okay, so list your why not tos. And guess what? If your why not tos are bigger than your why tos, you're really not going anywhere because that's a big foot that's on the brake. So you have to address that. So let's do that. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do fear setting. You've heard of goal setting. We're going to do fear setting. We're going to write down your fears. Okay. Now, you can actually do this with any aspect of your life. But, here we're talking about Activz and the action steps that we need to take to be successful. And what is that? The ask, right? So, what if I ask someone if they're open? Right? Define what can happen. They can say no. They can make fun of me. I'll lose respect. I'll get nervous. They'll ask a question. They'll yell at me. I'll say the wrong thing. I'll offend someone, right? I mean, make the list of all the things that can happen. All right. Now, separate what you can control from what you can't control and focus on what you can control. So you can control who you ask, but you really can't control their reaction. Okay. Now, are there ways that you can prevent or reduce the chances of those things happening? Right? You can, learn the answers to common questions. Have an upline member, kind of on the line, lined up to answer questions. Have a support person with you, maybe in person or on Zoom there, they can calm you down if you get upset by somebody. Finally, if it does happen, are there ways to repair the damage? Okay. If you offend a friend, you can apologize. If someone is rude, you can just, delete and block them, right? If there's an unanswered question, well, commit to finding an answer and get back to them. Okay. So, I'm going to go on a limb here. We're not stunt people. We're not jumping off the cliffs or driving race cars. So really, what's the worst possible thing that can happen, right? Guess what? You're not going to die, right? Not even a scratch. So, nothing physical is going to happen to you. So where's all this pain happening, right? It's in your head. You see, we suffer more often in imagination than we do in reality. Okay, so ask yourself, now, what might be the benefits of an attempt or partial success? What if I ask? They can say yes. A lot of people can say yes. I can build belief. I can build skills. I can rank advance. I can make money. I can make oodles of money, right? I can get respect. What if I keep taking massive action? Yeah, what are the possibilities? Don't focus on the probability of somebody saying no. Focus on the possibility they'll say yes. Right? Living in a world of possibilities is so much more exciting. Okay. Now, let's get to the real pain. Define the cost of inaction. We're so good at coming up with what could go wrong if I ask, but what is the cost if you don't ask? What will your life be like in 6 months, a year, 3 years? Right? What are you missing out on? What will you be like emotionally, physically, financially? Right? Best case scenario is, you'll probably be in the same spot as you are now, but probably you'll actually be worse off. Okay. So doing the same thing over and over doesn't keep you in the same spot. It typically actually digs your hole deeper, right? So even if you don't notice it, odds are you'll be worse off. So in the end, what you're really doing is trading short-term pain, actually really just perceived pain, right, for long-term success. Who wants to play that game? So at some point, you're going to figure out that inaction is no longer an option. You figure out that you're risking, a 1 to 3 on the short-term pain scale for missing out on an 8 to 10 on the life-changing scale. So let's get crazy on the time part. What if it takes you 10 years to earn $10,000 a month? Is it worth it? Hey, people spend 4 years and tens of thousands of dollars to get a degree in order to maybe get a job that pays, $50,000 a year, then spend several more years getting promoted to earn 6 figures a year. So yeah, I'd say even if it takes 10 years, it's worth it. All right, now what about all that other stuff? Vision boards, learning the science, personal development. It's all good, all right, but it's a two-legged approach. So is it easier to hop on one leg or walk with two? Right? Well, one leg is imperfect action. The other is personal development. If you're only doing one leg or hopping on one leg 10 times more than the other, it's a lot harder. You need balance. Imperfect action, personal development. Imperfect action, personal development, right? Really the personal development leg is there to make the imperfect action leg more productive. Okay? But even when you're not good at either of it, you still do it. If you want to get into shape, do you sit around and have long talks with your personal trainer for weeks on end before you actually get into the gym? No, you show up at the gym and the trainer gives you some guidelines and then you take action, right? You do the first exercise. Then the trainer gives you some more tips and you do it again. Some more tips, you do it again. Do improve, do improve. Now here's the thing. It's actually never perfect, right? Ask any athlete if they're ever completely satisfied. Talk to any successful person and ask them if they're perfect yet, right? So the dirty little secret is all action is imperfect. So if you're waiting to be perfect to take action, you'll never get there. Right? Is this sinking in? I mean, you must absolutely figure out how to take action. Your business life literally depends on it. Okay, so I have your attention, right? Let's get to a few more practical tips, right? So what you want to do is make weekly action goals, not result goals, right? An action goal is something you have control over. You have control over how many people you ask. You have the ability to ask, say, 2 people a day, right? Nobody can stop you from accomplishing that, right? You don't have control over how many people sign up. I mean, you could ask 100 people and 0 sign up. You could ask 10 people and 10 sign up, right? Doesn't matter either way. If your goal was to ask 10 people, you met your goal, and now you can celebrate that goal. Right? Now, over time, these actions will cause results. But in the short term, there's really no guarantees. Okay? So, what you want to do is build a streak of small, consistent actions. Start building that streak, and you don't want to break that streak. Now, since you have control over those actions, you can plan to celebrate, right? Make it fun. So say, I'm going to ask 5 people a day, and if I do that all week, I'm taking the family out for ice cream on Saturday. Okay? Tell your family about it. If you have kids, they'll be a built-in accountability partner, right? So that's another tip. Get others involved, right? Now, schedule your action. Actually put it on your calendar. At 3 p.m. today, I'm texting 10 people. At 3 p.m., don't think about it, just do it. See, action creates belief, not the other way around. You don't need to believe in yourself to take action, right? I went skydiving many years ago. Do you think I was all like, oh yeah, believe in myself? No, the plane door opened and I jumped out. The belief didn't come until after I landed. I took action and that created the belief that I could do it. All right, now try this. Do it in high intensity bursts. Okay, if you set a goal to ask 30 people in one day, that may be a little overwhelming, right? You'll risk putting it off because you think it'll take too long. So break it up into short, high intensity action bursts. Right? How long does it take to message someone? Right? Less than a minute, really. So do 5 at a time. Schedule a 5-minute action burst to measure 5 people and ask 5 people the question, right? Schedule that every couple hours throughout the day, and boom, you've asked 30 people and it barely interrupted your day at all. All right? Now, what else might be happening? You might have some head trash rolling around up there. You know, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I'm such a loser, right? Maybe you've heard of affirmations, right? You turn those statements around. You know, I'm a winner. I can do this. I'm amazing. You know, guess what? Those actually don't work for most people. What happens when you or someone else makes a statement that your brain doesn't believe? Bam, right? Knocks it down. You know, oh yeah, right. Okay, so you change those statements into questions. You see, your brain works in questions. When you ask your brain a question, it looks for an answer. So when you ask yourself, why am I such a winner? Why do I enjoy building my business so much? You know, why do I get excited when I take action? Your brain doesn't just slam it down. It actually goes looking for the answer, and your brain loves to be right. So it will start programming your subconscious to believe it. All right. Okay, so I threw a lot at you. Let's boil it down to a few things. First off, you must take action to be successful. You have to. All right. Next, find out what has your foot on the brake. All right. Do the fear setting exercise. Everything you want in life is on the other side of fear. Right? Set short-term action goals that you have control over. Accomplish those goals, celebrate, and repeat. All right. So listen, I wish you great success. My name is Ed. I'm so happy you spent this time with me, and I hope you learn how to live your life activated.